Hey guys, it's Ariana, and real quick before we dive into today's main video, as you can probably tell, we are talking a lot about the human design channels. And if you would like to know what the specific channels in your human design chart mean, because I don't go over all of them, I just give you a few examples to break them down and show you how this works. I would highly recommend that you check out my 64 gates and 36 channels mini guide. It is a really, really easy way to get familiar with the gates and channels in your chart. This is an ebook that will teach you everything that you need to know to get started with your gates, including how gates work, how to identify them in your chart, etc. And then also what each of the gates and channels actually mean. You will get easy to understand in plain English descriptions for each of the gates and channels. You'll learn the gift and the shadow, how it's likely to express itself in your life, and then also practical advice on what to know and how to use these. So even if you have no background in human design, you have no context here, that's totally okay. This is completely beginner friendly, and you can start understanding and tapping into the gifts of your gates and channels right away. Now, if you want to go even deeper than that, maybe you want to be able to explain the gates and channels to someone else in a chart reading, then I recommend you check out the Gates and Channels Deep Dive course. We go over so much stuff, including deep dives into each of the planetary placements and what they mean, how to interpret a gate's lines, which are the numbers after the decimal points, transits, circuitry, and so much more. It was seriously one of my favorite courses to record, and when I go back through it, I'm like, I just love this course. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description for both of those if you'd like to check them out. But otherwise, let's get into the video. So today I want to talk about how your channels, if you have any, so if you're a manifestor, projector, generator, or manifesting generator, sorry, reflectors, this one does not apply to you this time around. But if you are any of those energy types, so you have channels in your chart, how they affect the way that you will feel and get to your signature or your not self theme. So no matter what, according to your energy type, your signature and not self theme will be the same for your energy type. So if you are a 1-3 emotional manifestor with channel, 1648, and also channel, I'm trying to think, 3828, that is going to be the same not self theme and signature as it would be for a 4-6 splenic manifestor with channel 4521. Because you both have the same aura type, so you will both have the same signature and not self theme. However, the way that you will experience those things is likely to be slightly different because the way that you're built to be a manifestor is different. And this is, besides the fact that your authority is different too. Maybe I should have given an example where there were more things in common. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. And the same thing goes for, projectors with different channels and generators or manifesting generators who would have different channels. There are going to be different ways that manifestors would come to peace or anger, that projectors would come to success or bitterness, and generators and MGs would come to satisfaction or frustration. And your channels that make you your energy type, that is the case. The channels connect to the energy centers, which lights up the energy centers, which then gives you your energy type and also your authority. So knowing which ones you have will shed a little bit of light on why you basically experience your signature and not self-theme the way that you do. So I'm going to use my chart and also our friend Kelsey Abbott's chart as an example here, a combined example, because we both as generators and MGs are types of generators and have the same aura type, it's open and enveloping, and also have the same signature and not self-theme. So both of us, when we are going the right way for ourselves, when we're in alignment with our aura and how we are mechanically built, we're going to experience satisfaction. And when we are not doing that, we will experience frustration. But it's likely to be for slightly different reasons or be felt in slightly different ways. It's still going to be because we're not following our strategy and authority, but this will give us more information. So first, let's look at my chart. So I have, and by the way, because we're both generators, and if you are a generator or one, the channels coming off of the sacral center will be the most important here to understand when it comes to how we'd experience satisfaction, frustration. For me, I have 3 channels in my chart. Kelsey has way more than that, but I have channel 5342, 360, and 2750, or 5027 if we're following the pattern of saying this the way that I have been. All of these are generated channels. They all come off the sacral center, so they all have to do a lot with how I'm using my sacral energy. But for me, the biggest things that will lead to my satisfaction is correctly using those channels. So first off, 50-27, that is all about taking care of others, providing for others, following that sense of responsibility for who to nurture. So when I follow that, when I do that in the right way for the right people, I will feel that sense of satisfaction. I'll be like, oh, yes, I have really fulfilled my responsibility of taking care of this person or this project, of nurturing this thing. It has come to fruition because I've done that, and it's all worked out because of that. And I feel like my energy really went into the right place by doing that. And then I also have channel 5342, which is all about completing cycles, starting and finishing cycles, like seeing it all the way through. So I have that aspect of being a generator in me that's really, really highlighted, that loves going in, starting something, and then seeing it through to the end and finding that completion and that closure with something, and like knowing when it's time to clip something off and say, okay, we're done. So when I can do that, and when I follow my strategy and authority and enter into things correctly and start the correct things with the right energy for me at the right time, then I will get that sense of satisfaction by doing that and completing that cycle. And then lastly, I have channel 360. 360 is all about innovating. It's all about mutating the world around me. So I get really satisfied when I get that surge of like, things need to change. I need to create some kind of change around me, and I innovate, and it works, and it changes the landscape around me or changes someone else's life. It brings change. When I feel like I have done that, that's also something that's really, really satisfying to me. So all of these themes together, you can see how those give me a unique perspective on being a generator and also getting to my signature and not self theme. Because when I don't enter those things correctly, when I, try to take care of the wrong person for the wrong reason, or I try to push innovation when it's not the right time, I try to push change, but I don't actually have the energy for it, or I enter into something that is like not the right thing for me to start. So I either can't finish it, or I have to like see it all the way to the end. And it's really draining for me because it was never the right thing for me to do in the first place. Those are some of the main ways that I will get into, I keep wanting to say dissatisfaction today. It's frustration. I mean, frustration is dissatisfaction, but it's more than that. Now, let's look at Kelsey's chart. Kelsey has 5 channels in her chart, and they are channel 31-7 or 731, 25-51, 59-6, 46-29, and 32-54. So I don't really feel like we need to go over all of these. Maybe we do. No, we're going to go over the channels that just come off her sacral center, because those are the ones most applicable to her not self themes of satisfaction and frustration. So let's start with channel 59-6. Kelsey has always been, especially as someone with a 4-6 profile, someone to whom deep relationship and connection and intimacy and like vulnerability and openness has been very important. Like, Kelsey does not want surface level interactions. She does not like going to a party and having small talk. Like, she wants to get down in there and like know you at your core and know you as a person and have it be true and authentic. And that is such a big part of channel 59-6. And so for her, she feels deeply satisfied when she can actually get that out of a relationship, and she feels probably more frustrated than I would if she puts her energy into a relationship that doesn't really yield that fruit. Also, because channel 59-6 is really about waiting out your sacral response, because it's connected directly to the emotional solar plexus center, which finds clarity over time. A really big part of Kelsey finding satisfaction is making sure that she waits out that emotional wave to make sure that the thing she is saying yes or no to is aligned with her or is not aligned with her. And then the really, really interesting part about Kelsey's chart to me, and I'll tell you why in a second, is the fact that she has channel 46-29. So channel 46-29 is called the channel of discovery. It is sometimes also called the channel of success or succeeding where others fail. And the whole point of this is just going out and doing something, like committing to do something simply because it feels really good in your body, even if it looks really weird, even if you don't know why you're supposed to be doing it, because that is how you will find a way of doing something that works for you, that is probably like a new way that other people didn't think of, that allows you to succeed where others fail. So something that's very 4629 is just like, oh, I'm doing it because it makes me feel so alive. Joy. I feel so happy and excited in my body. And it's not about thinking, it's just being here and just living life. And so exciting. And so when because Kelsey's one of like the first people who explained human design to me in a way that I really understood. And I didn't realize this, but when she was like explaining how generators and MGs are supposed to feel, it did come with like her specific flavor of explaining that. So the way that Kelsey talks about it, it's not wrong, but it is very much like, I'm just excited to be alive and go just do this and like not think about it and just feel the joy of the sacral center, right? And just like what makes me feel sparkly and happy. And that's so like gate 46. And it is true that all generators and manifesting generators are meant to feel that love for life, right? Like we are life as generators and MGs. We create it. Like we're supposed to feel what it is to be alive. That's one of the biggest themes in our life, no matter what the rest of our design is. But what I've noticed over time is that there are more ways than just that to find satisfaction as a generator or MG. And I think a better way of saying that actually is there are more ways to experience this. So that's why there are people who as generators and MGs, like they might have done a hard day's work and it wasn't necessarily that they felt like overjoyed or excited or like, oh my God, I'm so alive right now about doing that stuff, but it still felt really satisfying because it was the correct place for them to put their energy. And for example, someone with channel 952, like that's a lot more about just like focused energy that you put in one place for a long time, and you just like drill through a project because you have so much focus and you can stick with it. And so there's something that's very, very satisfying about that. And it doesn't necessarily carry that same more specific theme of the sacral center that's like joy, exploration, feeling so happy and sparkly. And that is still a part of, again, that's part of life for every generator and MG, but that's going to be so much more of a focus for Kelsey. And that's why like she's here to teach human design the way that she does and express that energy for other people. It's because it's in her chart. Also, she tends to get so much satisfaction from just going out and doing things her own way, which probably partly comes from being an MG and blasting through those obstacles and just, saying, fuck the rules, I'm going to find my own way and blaze my own trail. But definitely also comes from channel 4629. But I don't want to just look at generators and MGs. So I want to give you an example from another energy type. I'm going to do manifestors because projectors have so many channels that are projected channels that I actually want to do a separate thing just for you guys. And so we'll list all of the channels out. We'll talk about finding your signature or not self theme and like feeling recognized, or maybe even recognizing projectors if you are not one or you are one and you're just thinking of other projectors. I guess you have one in your life that you want to recognize more. So I want to compare two other manifestors I know. So the first person has channels 1648 and 2644. So for this person, the main themes in their life, according to their channels, and channels will be some of the biggest themes in your life, are mastery, that's 1648. So when they really feel like they can dig down into something and like know it and get so good at it and be seen for that and share that, and they're not blocked from that in any way, that's going to be a way that they find peace as a manifestor. And then channel 2644 is a lot about, it's about like several different things. It's such a fascinating channel because it has so many different aspects to it. And this channel is a lot about convincing and selling and going out and getting something. If you were a manifestor and you had this channel, a way that you would get to peace is making sure that you are only making promises to people that you can really uphold, and you are only selling them on something, like selling them on a dream or a vision or selling them a thing that will really uphold the promises that you made via that thing. And then you'd probably get through anger or feel really blocked when you're not actually doing that. And then people may come over and, gate 44 is the fear of the past coming back to get you. And sometimes it does if you don't fulfill the promises of gate 26. And so that could either be people coming in and then blocking you because there was some miscommunication there on what would actually be fulfilled. Or it could be that, with gate 44, that fear of the past coming back to haunt you, these people may be afraid of even making any promise to begin with, and not using that heart center energy that they have to go out and do what they really are setting their mind to, which is not healthy for the defiant heart, because it needs an expression for its desire to go achieve and do and obtain resources, whatever these people feel driven to do. So that actually, I would say, is probably a more likely way that this would bring someone to anger as a manifestor. Like they feel blocked from even going out and doing the thing that they want to do in the first place, because maybe maybe it's their own fear blocking them, or maybe people in the past have given them an issue for making promises, even if it's like one that they could have kept because someone else is like, you're trying to manipulate me, whatever. And the manifestor's like, no, I wasn't. Please stop getting mad at me. And so they don't even try and they feel blocked. Now, the other manifestor whose chart I have here, this person also has 2 channels, very different ones though. So first off, they have channel 4521, which is known as the money line or the money channel. And this is all about controlling resources and being the person at basically the top of the chain of command, telling people where to go and what to do so that the entire tribe, this is a tribal channel, has what they need to survive and thrive. But it's very much about being that person in command, telling others what to do, like sort of the person that others submit to in order to get what they want, which is their own needs met. And so this person would likely experience peace when they're able to just say like, hey, I want you to do this, or hey, go do this, right? And they're doing that with the correct people. And they'd probably feel a lot of anger when people aren't listening to them, or they're not allowed to just express what they want, because 4521 connects the ego center to the throat. And the ego center is all about like, I want, I go for, I obtain, I get. So when they're not even allowed to talk about that for one reason or another, or people like stomp on their voice, that's probably going to create a lot of anger for this person, because they will feel very blocked. And that's the worst thing for a manifestor. Also, on the other hand, they may be trying to tell everyone what to do all the time without listening to their authority on whether or not these are the correct people to lead or direct. And then there will be backlash because people who don't want to be told what to do by you do not want to be told what to do by you, and probably will not respond very happily. You will probably not get a very positive response from that. So it's all about, really asking myself like, okay, is this actually aligned for me and for the other people for me to be doing this? And you have to follow your authority to know if that's the case. Then on the other hand, this person also has channel 634. And this is very, very different because it connects the head center, also known as the crown center, to the mind center. And it's all about finding patterns that help you understand the world. So it's about creating the structure of seeing the world and then creating these like replicable patterns and structures that can be used kind of like as a formula for understanding how things work. And so with 63.4, for this person, they would probably get into peace by one, just like accepting that they will know how they see the world when they know, like that clarity will come to them. And then also, this is how they see the world. And it doesn't really matter if somebody else agrees with them or not. If someone agrees with them, then that's great. And they are probably the person to hear their perspective on this. And if the other person does not agree with them, then it's just not the kind of person who will benefit from their understanding of the structure of the world. On the other hand, doing the opposite of anything that I just said would likely be something that leads to anger. And I'd say actually a big one is trying to like share this viewpoint that you have, or this way of seeing things, when it's not the right time to do so, or it's just not the right people. And again, your strategy and authority will tell you when it is the right time to do that. But if you don't, you're going to feel very unheard at the very least, or you're going to feel like everybody is challenging you or telling you, no, you can't think that, at the worst. And then you'll feel really blocked and probably pretty angry. So I think all of this is super cool. And I know that it is a little advanced for some people. So if you don't really get what I'm talking about, or you're like, wait, I don't understand. Okay, so like, do I have to follow these things then to find my signature or not self theme? Or like, I'm confused because my strategy and authority say to like do one thing, but then you're telling me this. Don't even worry about this. This is like human design level 3 at the very least. This is just a way to understand your chart a little bit more if you do have the basics down and you're thinking like, well, like, why is it that I'm not like the same as this other manifestor, even though we have like the same profile and the same authority and we still show up differently. And, there are so many reasons why that could be the case, but this is one to look at. And it really just does shed some light on why you are the way you are and why you come to alignment in the ways you do, or you feel so in alignment when certain themes are activated, or you do certain things, or when you follow your strategy and authority and they lead you to expressing your energy in this way. So I hope this did help you. Again, if you have other things that you want to learn about, let me know. And if they light up my sacral, then I can do a voice note on them. Maybe I'll even do a podcast episode on it if it's big enough. But yeah, so that is it for today. You rock, and I will talk to you next time.